And we are here in the Louisville Lacrosse offices with head coach Scott Teeter. Scott, certainly, where's the time gone? You know, it's a week before the season starts.
It is. It's going to be here before we know it, Paulie.
And certainly a lot of anticipation about the team this year. You get the start out against a Denver squad. It's not so bad, but at least they're coming in here. Just some thoughts on how the team is looking so far.
Yeah, we're at that typical part that we need to play someone. All right, they're playing well. They're practicing hard every single day. We're working on our systems, but we just need to play someone else, so that hey, we can see what we need to work on and really like be tested a little bit, because we're in the phase of practice right now when you're trying to run offensive sets. Defense knows what's coming, and vice versa. So it's just to sort of play someone new, but they're energized, they're ready, they're excited, and they can't wait for next Friday.
Got a lot of new folks, new faces to the program. Just so far, have they been adjusting to everything?
Yeah, definitely a lot of new faces. We graduated a lot last year, really with the fifth year plus the true senior. So we're going to be a completely different looking team a little bit. Like if you look at some of the key people that we graduated with starting with Sarah and Net. Okay, really having a new goalie, because Sarah played a lot of minutes for us, and then it carries on like to Nicole Peroni, Kokoro Nakazawa, and some key defenders, Olivia Toll, and others. That there's a lot of minutes out there open, and really it's still really going to be a committee. A lot of it is going to be committee. There's still positional battles that girls are fighting it out, and going in. That I think it will be a battle pretty well for the whole season. That we have a lot of different options, which is great.
And it might be maybe a little too early to ask this, but when it comes down to scoring this season, who are some of the players that you think might be able to carry that banner?
Well, we graduated a lot of scoring with four individuals. Like you look at four individuals, like with Peroni and Kokoro, who I mentioned, Allegra Catalano, Kylie Dobson, and right there, like, so that's our over 50% of our offense right there, and coming in. So like it's going to be by committee, and looking for girls that are experienced, that have been there to really grab the bull by the horns and step up and elevate their game and take advantage of increased playing minutes, increased opportunities to shoot. So girls that we're looking for from the midfield perspective too would be like a Lauren Figgis, Ryan Atkins, Izzy Cycle. Okay, Nagai Nakazawa coming off the Asian Pacific qualifier gold medal, playing really confident right now. Looking for her to step up and pick up a lot of goals. Maggie McMahon, another one that really came on, and we've seen some bright spots towards the end of last year. Okay, but giving her more of a role, okay, and more of a production, because like we got a lot of shots to make up. Like and those are the easy ones, and the shots, and then like who's going to be taking those shots that Peroni and Kokoro and Leg and Dauber used to take for us.
We've had pretty rough weather there for a good chunk of January. A lot of snow and ice on the ground. We're finally starting to see some sunshine, 50 degrees. Just how's the weather impacted your practice opportunities?
Well, with the snow and the bitter coldness too, we've been inside a little bit more than normal. But we're fortunate enough with the facilities that we have here at U of L, that we can move from outside to inside and really not miss a beat. Okay, it's a little bit of a different surface, but you're playing inside, so it's a little bit different. But that will prepare us for when we go to Marquette. So it's just a little bit different. In the past, yeah, we're blessed that we're one of two teams that have our own women's lacrosse facility. We want to use it, but our facilities staff did an excellent job of, when the snow, getting it off, and moving it ready for us, and we should be outside for the rest of the way.
There's nothing more comforting than February in Wisconsin, is there?
Oh yeah, definitely. The last two trips there, and that's we've had some adversity with the bus freezing overnight, and some other things as well too, and just playing inside their bubble.
Yeah.
inside their bubble. Like it's a tough environment. Even though if you practice there the day before, it's just a little different. And even the first couple days inside Traeger or whatever, just the girls' depth perception and overthrowing everything a little bit. But then, like after like a couple days in there, day 3, day 4, it just goes back to normal. So it's good.
When you look at the ACC this year, some of the ones that are going to be contending for that title, some of the ones that make jump up and surprise us.
Yeah, I think it's a new looking ACC for us for the first time when you add Stanford and Cal to the mix. And right there, so we have Stanford at home, roughly in probably the beginning of the last third of our season is when we see Stanford. But we go out to Cal and we head to California and open up ACC play. All right, so it's sort of on weekend 3, so we got to be right. And yes, we went to Denver, back and forth, but now we're going all the way to the West Coast and that stuff there too. So it'll be a little bit of an adjustment period for us in there, and working hard as a staff and the commitment of our athletic department. Well, we're heading out a day early, but then also taking a red eye back. Okay, well, how does that affect our athletes and that stuff for our next week's game? Okay, and I think our next weekend game after that is a perennial powerhouse in UNC. Okay, in UNC and Boston College are probably the 1, 2, or top 3 favorites to win the national title. And then the schedule's not easy, and just like looking at it, like you got Virginia, probably a top 5 team. We haven't even talked about Syracuse yet. And then you got Notre Dame, and the list just keeps on going on. Like, so we have to be ready with our ACC play, and we play a difficult non-conference schedule. We got some new faces on our schedule a little bit with Kent State coming in, and that stuff, a little bit more of a Midwest regional game, and we just got to be ready every single day. Right, that there's not an easy opponent on our schedule.
And it is, I guess, maybe arguably the toughest D1 conference.
Yeah,
in the ACC.
yeah. In my opinion, it is. Like, if you look at it, we have three of the top 5 spots in the opening pool, and that stuff. And then, but then, like, hey, if you're a Big Ten coach, they're going to say that they are because they got the other 2. Okay, and that's up there too. But I think from like top down too, like the Ivies are really good too. Like I'm the chair of our regional on the All-American committee, and then serve on the All-American National Committee, and just really getting to know the Ivies just a little bit. Like, hey, it's from top down, it's good. So like there's 3, but the ACC is number 1 in there. Okay, I think we had 8 teams in the preseason ranking in the top 25. More than any other conference.
Some of the ACC growth we've seen is just new programs forming. Clemson, Duke, we see Florida State in the process of forming one. Just what does that say about lacrosse as a whole, that we see so many programs starting to pop up?
It's expanding. It's great. It starts at the grassroots with U.S. Lacrosse and really the work that our coaches association's putting in, and USA Lacrosse just sort of expanding it, and then you look at like some really good hypes to it. In LA in the Olympics in the 2028, lacrosse will be back in there. It's been the early 1900s when lacrosse was in it as an Olympic sport. So it's been a long time coming for that. So that just provides growth, and then really in the non-traditional areas, and you look on our rosters today. Okay, like it's like every single square inch of I'm going to say North America, but the U.S. every square inch. We're down to the southern tip of Florida. We've had players from Seattle. We're into California. Obviously, it's not just Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic anymore. It's all over. We got girls on our program from Texas, okay? And so it's recruiting, and then really with our connections here with myself and Coach Daly with our international ones, now we have the country of Canada, we are into Japan, and just others. I think in our history here, we've had international players of it's almost 10 different countries, which is outstanding.
Didn't look like there's really any major rule changes. I know last year there's a couple adjustments. How have any rule changes that we've seen over the couple years or so impacted?
Yeah, so we are on a 2-year cycle. So unless it's a safety factor or anything like that, or something that is really obscure. This is a non-change year, so there was only, I think, 2 or 3 minor adjustments. Like one was just to offset and make it a little bit more like a charge in the midfield. Okay, is just a possession change, not a green card. Okay, and that's so it's very minor for this year. In there, last year was the real drastic one. A lot of rule changes with a lot of the midfield to clean up the midfield play in between the 30s. And I think if you look at the 3 prongs, okay, like right there, starting with us coaches adjusted. We've adjusted systems, we adjusted the way we play, okay, to make it work. Okay, well, then our athletes obviously adjusted. They adjusted to the play and that stuff there too. There was a lot more green cards in the beginning of the year than there was towards down the end or down the stretch or in championship play, because the players got used to it and adjusted to it. And then the officials, it was all brand new for them too, and really in getting the knowledge and getting their trainings and expertise in there, and just really that they adjusted to it as well. That really cleaned up a lot of the physical hits, okay, inside and that stuff, and the physicality in there. But it created a little bit more offense and that stuff, a little bit more man ups, man down situations as well. So then you get, as a head coach, you get more creative in systematic approaches, okay, different personnels, using different strengths, and that's where the fun coaching part comes in as well.
You better play Denver. What can you tell us about them?
Well, they're sort of like us. They graduated a lot. They had a couple players there that who knows? I think I've been coaching against them, it seems like, for the last 20 years. But it hasn't been right there. But Coach Kelly's pride and joy is her defense. Okay, she's a defensive coach and that stuff, that is zone, that I don't think that's going to change, but it's going to be different personnel. And some of those girls that they graduated were really key All-American type of defenders that played a lot for not 4 years, 5 years for them, in Sam Thacker and Trinity McPherson. Well, they're gone. Okay, then they lost a couple big guns on the offensive end. Okay, Denver's doing well with the 1 year transfers. Okay, as well. There's a couple, I think, the D3 Player of the Year. Okay, right there on a Thornton watch list, or right there that she transferred in. Okay, that will be new. But then also knowing some of their players too. They got 2 Canadians that we know really well. Okay, that will factor in on their offensive end a little bit. Will be key people. But so getting really scout, but it could be a little bit just different in personnel. But we think, okay, it'll still be defensive focus for them. Okay, that I don't think it will change that much. But then on the other part too is they have a brand new offensive coordinator that we've seen and that we've known. Okay, she was at Ohio State. Okay, she played her career at Loyola. Okay, that we know a lot about, and it was at Penn State before. But really to see what Taylor's going to make of that offense. Okay, and that stuff too. That really we got to focus on us a little bit more, Paulie, and focus on us and make the adjustments along the way. Okay, and that's up there too. And we have limited film, trying to find as much film as we can on the scout and get as much information that we can to give our players. But that's the intriguing part at the beginning of the year. They're doing the same thing on us. As well too. We're going to have new faces. There's going to have players out there contributing that have limited film or lack of playing experience that are going to grow too. So that makes it, in my eye, like an even playing field, more or less.
Looking at the schedule, looks like no night games, nothing at LNN Football Stadium this year.
Nope.
Good or bad for you?
Yeah, when we were fortunate enough to play in our premier football stadium and stuff like that is mainly because it's on TV and we get the night because of the light situations and really just putting that in that our facility is top notch as well, and our girls love to play there. It is an experience to play there, but it just didn't make sense because we didn't have the night TV slot at home. Will we get to play in a football stadium this year? Yeah. When we're at Boston College, we're playing in their alumni stadium, okay, which we seem to play every year that we're there. In there, we do get to play a little bit more of an evening game when we go to Xavier. Okay, it's like a 6 o'clock start, so it's a little bit different adjustment for us that could prepare us a little bit down the road for an ACC later game, okay, in the ACC tournament, okay, or the NCAA tournament if you get those later time slots. So we use those, but then we use a lot of things for prepping too, like, okay, our game to Cal, okay, well that could prep us like for the NCAA tournament if we draw and we have to go west. Okay, so you use everything as a learning experience and a measuring stick. But but we're happy of playing on our facility and in our home as well.
Give us a name or two that the lacrosse fan follows Louisville may not know yet, but will probably be quite familiar with by the end of the year.
Yeah, I think Maggie McMahon is one that's going to hopefully contribute a lot of goals for us it's going to play a little bit more of a role in the track. That you know of her name from her last year. She's just a redshirt sophomore that didn't play her freshman year. Okay, started to come on late would be one. A name that you already know of, but it's going to be a little bit different flake because it's a different Nagai Nakazawa. Okay, it's going to be a little bit more of that the impact player for us building off her success and really like it's not going to be in Kokoro's shadow. Okay, and her sister and that stuff. It's gonna be Nagai's show. Nagai's right there. But then looking at Ryan Atkins, who's played a lot of minutes for us, but really we need to step up and contribute some goals. Lauren Figgis, okay, Izzy Cycle. But then if you look at some freshmen, we're gonna have some freshmen out there as well. Ella Berg, okay, and opinion based top 10 freshman. Okay, in there, and it's gonna go. It's probably one of probably in fall ball scored the most goals for us in the fall. So she's going to be keyed on right away. Then we have some other girls in the attack that are gonna that are in positional battles that will be right there. And Izzy Leach and Kate Daniels. Okay, is as well. It's like so there'll be some new faces on the defensive end. Okay, you got Ashley Osborne. Okay, leading the way right there, like a local product in for her 6th year. Okay, and that's up. But then you got like senior Ava Coyle. Okay, is as well, and some others, and then we have some younger defenders too that may not get the starting roles, but we'll get some minutes and we'll get them experiences as well right in there.
It does sound like a well-balanced lineup indeed. I guess maybe last question for me. The guy over here now, without her sister on the team, how's she adjusting to things over here on the state side?
Well, it's actually pretty good, Paulie, and you're going to like this move because I try to stay one step ahead of you, one step there. So Kokoro hasn't went anywhere. Kokoro's our student assistant coach.
I didn't know that.
So Nagai has her own personal coach out there. They talk back in Japanese and that stuff. I have no idea what they're saying, but it's right there. But it's like back and forth. So she has that familiarity. Okay, Kokoro's definition to my definition of being a student, we had to work on that because all she wanted to do was play. But she's really coming into her own. She's helping out. Definitely she's there for Nagai, but also helping out our other attackers. Okay, and we're just building our confidence and that stuff of being a coach, but really having there. But really, what you're going to see from Nagai is just the increased opportunity. Increased opportunity going to be a key primary look in our offense. Offensive plays, playing in a little bit of a different position than in the past, but then is a really confident player right now. Okay, with her coming back with that gold medal, Japan's first ever gold medal on the women's side, and she was their leader, led the way for them. It's really continued back over to us this January when she got back here, and it's really carried in that hopefully it just continues and she hits the ground running, gets some success early. Okay, but she's definitely one we'll be counting on all year.
We have a lot of readers who love the interviews that we do, and why don't you just kind of in closing out let's get a little pep talk going here for lacrosse to get the fans out there to watch you all this year. What you got for me?
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting, different look than what we've had in the past. The girls are an exciting team, right? There's a lot of athleticism too, a lot of skill set in there, and anytime that you graduate a lot, okay, us coaches can get back to the drawing board and put our new players in their strengths. So it's a really exciting time, really intriguing. We got some great teams coming in to watch us play on our edges. So come and join us. Come and join us. Come and support the girls and that stuff. Get here early. A couple of our parents, their tailgating went to the next level.
Yes, they do.
The next level right there. Feel free to join into that. Sean and Mindy Atkins spearhead that for us and have did an outstanding job with that. And it's just a fun family atmosphere. Bring the kids. Okay, they can join into my kids every time we score, running the parade, high-fiving the fans with the flag up the sidelines, and right there. Feel free to join all in that, and I encourage you to come. And if you're new to the sport of lacrosse, come and learn something new.
Absolutely.
Okay, these girls are very skilled, very athletic, and they're fun to watch.
I guess you could say lacks nothing this year.
That's right. You got it.
Coach, we thank you for your time and appreciate you.
Oh, thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.